Hi Flosstube, it's Rolanda here from Rose Crafty Corner. As you can see that Kylie is not with me today and I have a little bit of news about that. So I'm going to be going through all the things that I've been working on and let you know why Kylie's not here and see how we go from there. Now, the last time we filmed was early February, so I have the rest of February and part of March to show you today. So there is a few projects in there and a few finishes. There's one fully finished, I think there is, and there's a little bit of haul and things like that. So normally we start off with our totals for the month. And for February, I got 13,007 stitches for February. So I thought that was pretty good. That was better than my January, so I was quite impressed. Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good number to get for the month. Now, Kylie's going to be taking a little break for a little while, just for some personal reasons. And she's going to be busy stitching away in the background. And doing her thing, and then hopefully we will see her back here shortly, and then she can update us with what she's been working on in the time that she's been away. So send your love. I'm sure she'll appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see her back with me again very soon. Alrighty, I'm going to jump straight into whips today because I don't have any new starts that are still new starts. The new starts I have finished. So my first whip, I'm out of practice, please forgive me. My first whip is Penguin Christmas Stocking by Doreen Jones. And this is my focus piece for the year. As I promised my sister that my nephew would have this fully finished for a Christmas present this year. So I better get cracking. I worked out to roughly be 650 stitches per week for me to finish this in time and then be able to fully finish it before we catch up for our Christmas get together. But however, on this stocking, there's no name up the top. So I'm going to need to add a name in. So I thought what I will do is I will bump it up to around 700 a week. And if I get the 700 stitches a week done, I should be able to include the name in that and also have it fully finished maybe a little bit earlier than scheduled. Plus there's a lot of backstitch. Now with the backstitch in there, I'm not counting that towards the 700, but I'm still counting those stitches. So let me show you what I've done since I last saw you. Okay, so here we are. Now I've spent 6 days, on this one, and I've done 3,411 stitches plus 105 back stitch, and it's now at 25.09%. So I'm a quarter of the way there. So I'll just take it in, give you a little close up. Hopefully you can see it all because I can't actually see what you can see. So I have done a fair bit on this one and I am enjoying it, just doing that 700 a week. Usually I can get it done on one day if I just concentrate on this for the day and put everything else aside. However, some weeks it has gone over the 2 days, which is fine. So that's that one. I'm really, really happy with how it's coming along, and there is a ton of white stitches involved. So I'm going to be getting good at my white stitches, I think. I've still got like over 5,500 white stitches to go because it is a full coverage stocking. So yeah, very cute, that one. Alrighty. And hopefully that'll be finished around early November. So, all right, my next one is Hearts for Pam by the Blue Flower. And this is what it looks like. And so this one was my viewer's choice project for February. So I spent 5 days on this one, between all the other things that I had to do. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like, I'm hoping that I can get this one finished this year, because it would be lovely to have it up on the wall. And then the Blue Flower also have seasonal ones as well. So I don't want to start a seasonal one until this one is finished. So here we are. Now look at that. Isn't it just absolutely gorgeous? As I said, 5 days on this one. I did 1,382 stitches. And I am at now an exciting 50.69%. So I'm over halfway, but it still counts. So as you can see, I've done most of the heart there in the cottage garden threads. And then I've pulled in the black swan and the flowers. And there's a little tiny, I think it might be a little tiny baby swan on the black swan's back. So it's been really fun working on this one. And yeah, I'm loving this. So this piece, I'm not actually sure what color. I've been asked what color this fabric is. I'm not actually sure, because I got it in an ornament pack from Paddock Lane Designs when I went to one of the retreats. And when they're in an ornament pack, they're not actually, the colors aren't labeled. So Lisa, if you're watching, can you tell what this color is, this fabric? But I love working on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I think it's a perfect color for this. And I started in the middle, obviously, but I will be letting some of the beautiful fabric show around the outside when I finish it. I'm just not sure whether I want to frame it, or whether I want to make it into a cushion or into a project bag or something. I'm not sure yet, but I will let some of this beautiful fabric show around the outside. So that's that one. Okay, my next one is Monthly Mini Village, and this is the July one from Country Cottage Needleworks. Now, because I live in Australia, which is Southern Hemisphere, I changed them around a little bit to sort of suit our way of life better. So because they had the July one as the patriotic one with the fireworks and the American flag, I've changed it to January, because we have fireworks at New Year's Day, like Eve, New Year, you know, the midnight, right? And we also have fireworks on Australia Day, which is in January. So that was my thought when I changed this around. And here we are. So I've also changed the American flag to the Australian flag with help of my lovely friend Adorn. Thanks, Adorn. And I've changed up the colour of the houses as well. And the reason why I've done that is because when I looked at it, the houses did look very patriotic, being all the reds and blues. So I've kept this one here the same colouring. My houses are unique, I'm going to say, because I made a personalisation, not a mistake, it's personalisation. And my grandmother, when I was growing up, lived in a house that was an orange brick, and it was a low set. So because this is a low set house, this one here, I've decided to change to orange brick, so to remind me of my grandmother's house. And then when she lived in that house, we lived on the opposite side of the road to her in the same colour, brick house. So my plan is to put the orange high set over here, because you've got two low sets and then you've got two high sets. So that's my plan for this one. I'm super excited about it. And then I'm just making all the fireworks different colours. So yeah. That one there, I worked 2 days on it. I did 977 stitches, and I'm now at 39.54%. Now, originally I had plans to do one of these a month this year, and I actually didn't realise how much stitching was involved in them. So I've changed that plan. I'm going to do one, get that one finished, and then I'll move on to the next one. So it could take me 2 years to get them all done, maybe 3 years. It doesn't matter. However long it takes is how long it takes. But yeah, I'm really loving it. And I actually took it to a stitchy catch-up because I'm terrible at French knots. And one of the ladies there did the little French knots in the eyes of the characters there. So I hope you can see that. So thank you very much. Her name was Kate. So thank you, Kate. I really appreciate that. Because otherwise I've had to look for really tiny, petite seed beads or something to put in for the eyes. So yeah, I'm loving how it looks. So that is that one. And then the next one I worked on was the one I started on the cruise this year, and I'd put aside for us to film our cruise special for you. And then as soon as we filmed that, I was like, right, pull it out. It was like one of the first ones itching for me to come back to. So this is Summertime, and it's by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and this is what it looks like. And yeah, so I really love working on this one. It's just so easy to work on, and I've done a fair bit on this one. Alrighty, so I spent 2 days on this, and I did 1,033 stitches. I'm now at 27.03%. So I had the word beach in last time. Oh, not quite. I didn't have the C and the H, I think. Whoopsie. But I know I had the bikini in because I did that on the cruise and I put the beads in. And then I had the letter, this flag, I had A done. So I've done the rest of those ones. I put the C and the H. And in the sun, obviously, and flip-flops. And these are a stack of suitcases, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yeah, stack of suitcases. So this was really cool to work on. I really liked working on this one. So I'll get back to that soon. And I mean, even though we're in autumn now, it doesn't matter. I'm going to stitch this all the way through the year. I'm not going to just keep it to summertime because, you know, it'll take 10 years for me to finish it then. But yeah, I'm just going to focus on ones that I like and not, I mean, I'm going to have my themed ones, but I'm not necessarily just going to keep it as in the theme this year. Alrighty, my next one is one that you guys haven't seen in a little while that needed a lot of love. And this is 324 by Works by ABC. And I gave this one some love. Alrighty, are you ready? Here we go. Okay. All right, so hopefully I've got it all in the camera for you. I spent 3 days on this one. I did 11 squares and 14 motifs, which equaled out to be 1,214 stitches. And I'm now at 63.22%. So I worked, you know, here, there and everywhere, and then I got it in my head that I wanted to start completing rows, because when it being in the hoop, I was finding what happened was I was pulling out the colors that were just like out of the hoop frame, and I was like, okay, let's take it out. So what I did was then I think I started with the 3rd row here, and I completed the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th row. And then I thought, well, I'll just keep working down, see how we go. But yeah, I'm loving the way it comes out. I just need to find all the colours. And you would think with the amount of projects that I have, it would be quite easy to find the colours. However, maybe sometimes it's not so easy. So yeah, this is one that just keeps going, and yeah, we'll get it done. Hopefully by the end of this year, hopefully. But yeah, I'm just loving all the colours there. Now, if you've not seen me before talking about this one, my advice is to grid up if you can. And what I did was actually gridded 11 by 11, not 10 by 10, which is like what we normally grid, because these motifs here are 11 by 11 stitches. So it was confusing me gridding it 10 by 10 but having the motif overlap and be 11 by 11. So now when I look at it on markup, I just ignore the grid and I just look at the motif itself. So if I know that the motif, like okay, for example, this one here, it's right to the very edge of the square. The same with this one here. It's right to the very edge of the square. So with that, I start in the edge and then I just work my way with the pattern, you know, left to right, top to bottom, whatever, however I feel. And then like this one here, it's 1 square away from the edge. So I know that I need to count in 1 and it makes it so much easier. So yeah, I do have 324 the sequel. I don't have any plans to stitch it just yet. I want to get this one finished first and then see how we go. Because I got that one at Nashville Needlework Market last year. So Nashville's just happened at the time of filming. It happened on the weekend. And the lovely Denise from Coco went over to Nashville, and we're excited to see what she brought back and hope that she had a fantastic time. I'm sure she did. So you will see when I get my haul from Denise what I purchased at Coco, what I purchased from Coco from the Nashville Needlework Market this year. Alrighty, that's all I have for, oh no, sorry, I have one more whip. Now, this particular whip was my March viewer's choice. So if you're new here and you haven't seen this before, I should have said at the beginning, welcome everybody. I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of practice. I ask people to vote for the month to month to find out what to stitch on. So last month I had asked for this month of March to choose between Rainbow Quaker and Harmony by Hate, Charter by Hate, and Rainbow Quaker was overwhelmingly the winner. So I've started stitching on Rainbow Quaker, and that's by Finshes on Etsy. And I use this for the Feisty Focus projects for Whip Warriors group on the weekend. So I spent 5 days. Look at it. How gorgeous is it? I'm so excited. 5 days on this one. 2,629 stitches. And it's now at 36.53%. Now I know that I've enabled some people with this one, so you're welcome. Yeah, it's just beautiful, and I love how the colors are popping off the black fabric. So I started this one in the very middle back in 2024, and I had not quite finished this motif here. So I finished that one off on the weekend, and I did this green one as well. And then I had this one that was half done. All the yellow was already done. This one that was half done. So I did 3.5 orange. I did 3 red, 1 pink. So I've done a heap. I'm so proud with this one. I just love it. So now my plans is to do what I can in the frame here of the green, and then I will go back. I'll have to move the frame, and then I'll go back and do the other one. There's one here and then one on the end there, and then, you know, obviously there's more down here. So I'll do all of the green band, and then I'll move on to like the teal colored one, and then the blues and the purple. So yeah, that's that one. Look how great it looks. I'm so in love with the colors. This is an 18 count black Ada, and I'm using the called for colors, but I'm using the CXC brand just because I felt that they're a bit shinier than DMC. I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it, but if you know what the CXC threads are like, they're a little bit thicker than DMC, but they're also, in my opinion, just that tad bit shinier. So yeah, I absolutely love how this is coming out. So that is that one. And then I have some finishes. So Valentine's Day Quaker was one of the ones that I was concentrating on in February. I think I started the day before Valentine's Day, and I stitched on it that weekend and got it finished. It was nice and easy. So here we go. Here it is. Maybe I can hold it still for you. So this one, I spent 5 days on it. I did 2,352 stitches, which is 100% complete. And I used the Semco thread that was in my stash, and it was number 120. Now I worked out that this is not actually color fast. So if you are using Semco threads, just be aware that it's not actually color fast. So I'm not going to wash this one because I don't want it running. That's about all I have to say about that one. It's going to be made into a pillow, so yeah. Okay, so my next one, I'm just referring to my notes. My next one that I worked on is So Lucky, and this one is by Crafty Blue Bonnet. And this is a new designer to me. So I was doing a little bit of research, and I was trying to find what St. Paddy's Day patterns I had. And I was looking at something, and then I saw this one advertised, and I was like, oh, let me have a look. So I saw it and I was like, yes, definitely, I'm going to do this one. And then I saw that they had 2 others in the series, which is so lovely for a Valentine's Day and so spooky for Halloween. So I'll end up doing all 3, finishing them all the same. I think I'm going to finish them into like a pillow or some sort of cushion or something like that. So yeah. But that could change. Hey. So this one's called So Lucky. And this one I did 3 days on. So it was nice and quick. And it was 1,305 stitches. Now this one's a 20 count linen. And I did it 2 over 2. And I'm a person who doesn't like to be able to see the fabric through the stitches. And I think with the 3-leaf clover, the dark green, I think you can kind of see it a little bit, but not necessarily all the way. If I was to do this again, I would probably do 3 or 4 strands. But I'm doing it. I'm not going over it. It is what it is. We learn from these things, don't we? So, yeah, that's So Lucky. So I'm loving that I got it finished. Now, where I've got the grey, they actually had white, but white was not going to show up on this coloured fabric, and neither was cream. So I just stuck with the grey, and I thought, that's a nice shade of grey. And this one was just stitched for my randoms. So I just picked up my random threads, and I thought, yep, that looks good. Pop that in. And yeah. So that's that one. And then I actually had finished 2 of my 12 monthly minis, and I'll show you, obviously this is the one I'm talking about. So the 12 monthly minis by Primrose Cottage. So I did February one for Valentine's Day, and I did this one up the top for St. Paddy's Day. So that was the March one. So I'm going to show you the March one first because that is a finish, and you will see in a minute why this one is being shown first. So here is my 12 monthly minis March. And again, I just picked randoms for this one. I just picked 2 grains and I thought, yeah, they'll look good on the brown, and went for it. So this one I spent 1 day and did 567 stitches. So they're nice and quick, like they flow very quickly. Once you're in the rhythm of the pattern, they go very quickly. So I'm loving that one. And okay, so here now is the reason why I'm showing you February 2nd, because February is actually a fully finish. So here it is. So this one, I've actually forgotten to write down how many stitches I did on it. And how many days. Good on you, Ro. I've actually deleted it out of my markup now that it's finished, so I can't even go back and have a look in there. I'm sorry. But yeah, it would have been roughly 1 or 2 days with this one. So this is February, and you can see the white pom-pom trim. And then I found this gorgeous little heart fabric in my stash at home. So I sewed that on, and I've stuffed it with walnut shells and also just stuffing. What I do for my stuffing is I buy cheap Kmart pillows, and I just take the stuffing out of the pillows and then pull it apart and pop it in and call it good. So, and then I just found the sticky felt that I had in my stash as well, so on the back. So that is February. Now January hasn't been fully finished yet, and obviously March hasn't because I just showed you March. So I will have to get onto those ones. So that's part of my plans, which I'm jumping ahead and I shouldn't be. Now, one other whip I wanted to show you. I've been helped along by my lovely friend Jennifer, and I was struggling with this one at Coco, and then I was like, oh no, I've got to frog it all, and I just lost the love for it instantly, but I still want to get it done. So she was like, let me have a look. So she took it over and she's done an amazing job for me. So here we go. This is the Elephant Biscornu by Tiny Modernist, and Jennifer has done now 50% for me. So this is the top of the Biscornu here with the 2 elephants, and this is the bottom of the Biscornu with the flowers. So now I was so thankful to her when she showed me that she'd done 50%. I was like, this is amazing, thank you so much. And she knows that she's really helped me out with this one. So I just need to continue on now with the other 2 elephants. I mean, so it goes this way and then it flips and then it flips again and then it flips again. So I just need to, continue on with that and do the flowers and then put it together, because this is my first ever Biscornu and I started this for my birthday last year. So it needs to get done. And I'm still in love with it. It's just I got upset that, had to frog. So we all do that. But yes, so thank you again, Jennifer. And you guys will be seeing this one very, very soon. Okay, so now we'll move into plans. Now, I have a few plans. We all have a few plans. And whether they come together or not is another thing. Now, for Whip Go, my was called, and there was numbers 3 and 4 for March. So 3 for me is work on any cell. Easy, totally easy for me. And then number 4 is a wheel spin, which I'm really excited to spin up. So stay tuned and you'll see what they are, because I haven't done the wheel spin yet. I've been concentrating on Rainbow Quaker for the feisty focus, and then I've done a few other things that needed to be done, and so now I'm free. I've got a couple more plans because I want to stitch on Stained Glass Elephants by Sharova Creations this month. I want to start doing some Easter stitching early because April, my birthday month, is going to be all about my birthday sale for me, which I will speak to you about very shortly. And any other plans that just sort of fit in now. So my birthday sale, which I'm going to talk to you about, is going to be fancy 40s. So anything that is considered as a fancy project. It could be fancy lady, fancy man, it could be fancy floss, fancy hand-dyed fabric, whatever you guys determine as a fancy project. I want to see everybody's interpretation of this because I'm leaving it wide open for you to interpret however you can. You don't need to start a new start. If you have a project, I mean, if you don't want to, I mean, if you want to start something new, great, do it. I am. But if you don't want to start anything new, you can pick one of your projects that has an over-dyed fancy floss or a fancy fabric or anything with metallic or beads. So go crazy, go wild. I want to see how people interpret it because it's actually a bit of fun. So the one that I'm going to be starting on is Bella Filipina, the Magic Lamp. Now this is Jasmine, one of the princesses. So I have loved the movie Aladdin since I was a kid, and Jasmine is one of my favorite princesses. So when I saw these were coming out, I'm like, yes, I must have the whole princess collection. Of course, I love a good collection. And she spoke to me. It was like I already had Snow White underway when she came out, and then when she came out, she was the next one to stitch. So she is what I'm going to be starting on. Now, Miss Chloe, who's also on YouTube, she's joining me in stitching this particular one. So we are going to be stitching on Jasmine, the Magic Lamp. But you can choose whatever you like, as I said. Now, I've picked some beautiful fabric here. This is a 28 count opalescent. It's called Aurora Bloom, and it's by Crafty Leeny, and it was this December 2025 Fabric of the Month Club. Now, look at this. So I just think that she is going to be absolutely stunning on this fabric. I'm not sure if I'm going to put her that way or that way yet. As you can see, the back with the dye. So I do have time to decide that, obviously, before I start stitching because I don't want to stitch her upside down. But yeah, so I just think that that fabric is just going to be absolutely beautiful to stitch her on. So if you have this one in your stash and you would like to start it, let me know. If you have another fancy project, however you determine that you want to work on, please let me know. I love reading the comments below, and I want to see what people are stitching on. It is one of my joys to see what people are stitching on because not everybody likes the same sort of stitching, and I love that we have such a large community and things like fancy can be interpreted many different ways. So you have time. This will start on April the 1st and run till April the 30th. And if you don't finish in that time, that's completely fine. Just do what you can. And if you want to join in, that would be awesome. And I certainly won't have this finished by April 30th. So I'll just be continuing on whenever I choose to. And because of this one being my birthday start and birthday sale, I'm not going to be doing a viewer's choice for the month of April because I really, really want to focus on this one. And I thought if I had a viewer's choice as well, I'd be torn between the two. So I have this one and I have other fancy projects as well. I have The Sorceress by Joan Elliott. As I said, I have Snow White by Bella Filipina, so I will be pulling out all my fancy projects for April. But this one is the one that's going to be getting, I think, at this stage, the most love because, you know, it's a new start, right? And a birthday sale. So, yes, please join me. Kylie will be joining me and she'll be picking her fancy project. We've already started talking about it with our close friends, and I've told them you need to pick out some fancy projects. So I'm inviting everybody that's watching. I'm going to come up with a hashtag if I can get that to work on Instagram and be sharing over there, and also on our Facebook page, and also here on YouTube. So I'm really excited about it, and I'd love to see what you guys choose for your fancy project. Alrighty, now we might go into haul, I think. Yeah, because then I can show you something else that I want to stitch on. All right, so I visited Crafty Threads, I think last week, and I got some 28 count Brittany opalescent fabric. Still in the package. Hopefully you can see the opal, because we know, everybody knows how I love my shiny opal fabric. Yeah. So I bought this as an experimentation to dye because of another pattern that I have bought recently, and I've asked around at my fabric people that I like to buy from if they can recreate a certain color for me. Now, if they can, then I will be purchasing it from them. If they can't, then I've got some fabric to dye and I can have a play around with and see what I can create and come up with. So it won't be staying white for long if I have the experimental dyeing stages. But yeah, I will tell you about the pattern when I show you in the digital patterns. Alrighty, now I also got some Pearl 5 thread from Crafty Threads, and I got these colors for this particular pattern. I'll see if I can insert the picture here, and I want to be able to stitch this on one of the Mad for Plaid project bags. So I'm waiting on a project bag to come in of a certain color, and once that comes in, I do want to stitch this St. Paddy's Day Lucky project on that bag with these colors. So that's for that. And then the Bella Filipina one that I just showed you, I thought, well, I need to get some Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure Braid for it, so I got those ones in for her. And I also got the beads, but they're a little difficult to show on camera, so you guys know what Mill Hill beads are like. So I think, and I've also got all the DMC for her as well. So I will just start with the DMC first. Once the DMC is in, then I will be putting in the Petite Treasure Braid, and then beading will be the final thing. I also got a cross stitch gauge because I'd been looking at one of these for quite a while, and another friend of mine wanted one as well. So I was like, okay, I'm making an order, so I might as well order myself one. So they've just got the different counts on either side, and it just shows you, like, you line it up with the fabric in the slots, and then you look at the little lines on the actual, I don't know, yeah, you guys can see that. You look at the little lines and then see what count, where it lines up to what count it is. So I thought that could come in handy for like my even weave and my linen that I don't know the counts of, that I can line them up against that. Alrighty, then I got my hank of the month from Silks For You, and it's a beautiful, like, pale, not necessarily pastel, but it's a beautiful pink, like a pale pink, and it's just so pretty. So I really love that one. So that's the February hank of the month. And if you're not in the club for Silks For You, they're running it 2 6-monthly clubs this year. Last year they ran it for the whole 12 months, and this year they're running it for the first 6 months. because you need to commit to the whole 6 months. And then they're running a second 6 months. So if this year, if you get the first 6 months, you're not committed to the whole year like you were last year. But they're such beautiful hanks, and they are gorgeous, and you can pick whatever colors you like, because every second month you get to pick a color, and then every first month they give you a particular color that they've dyed. And I'm always surprised, and I always love it. So I've just chosen my next one for March. So if you know what my favorite color is, you'll know what it is. If you don't know what my favorite color is, let's stay tuned, and you'll see when I get it in. I will show you. Alrighty. Now, I was out with a friend of mine, Rebecca, and we had a little bit of Sashiko shopping. So we both bought this panel, and this is a Sashiko panel. So it's a little bit different to cross stitch. It involves a running stitch on your needle. And the lady actually had one of these done up there at the shop, and it just looked beautiful. So I also got some white thread to go along with it, and some Sashiko needles. And I have some variegated Sashiko thread at home in different colors, and what I thought I might do is do this part over this side white, and then all the flowers and things different colors. So this will be taking a little time to do. It's not going to be a rushed project, because it's more of a slow stitch, kind of relaxed project to do. And yeah, you don't rush these things. You just take your time. All right, now I've had some fabric of the month come in from Crafty Leeny, and this one is the February 2026 club ones. Now this one is an 18 count, and it's called Gold Moss. So we've got beautiful greens and golds. Let me see if I can, there we go, that's better. Greens and golds and some blue. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the 18 count, and that's the like just the non-opalescent 8er. And then I also get the 28 count in the opalescent fabric, and that one is the same color, Gold Moss. And that's this one. So hopefully you can see the sparkle there. Very nice and pretty. Love my opalescent. And she always gives you a little needle minder and a little blurb about why she made that color. So the little needle minder is a little palm tree. Let me get him up the right way. Hopefully you can see it. A little island and a palm tree. So it's very, very cute. And it says, golden warmth threads through softened greens in this sun-touched blend of meadow light and mossy undertones. Hints of mineral blue and quiet shadow drift beneath the surface, creating depth without heaviness. Gold moss would stitch up beautifully with deep espresso, terracotta, muted navy or soft cream. Lovely for wildflower patterns, golden hour landscapes, meadow scenes, and designs featuring muted blues or warm browns. Now I love the fact that Crafty Leeny does that, gives you a reason why she's created it, or the thought behind it, and what would look good on it. Because sometimes when I go to my fabrics, I'm like, would this look good? Would that look good? And then I realize, oh, Crafty Leeny tells me what would look good with it. So then I pull that out, and if that pattern has terracotta and muted navy and cream, then I'm like, this is the go. So it makes my job a bit easier on picking a fabric, because sometimes I feel like I have 5 options and I can't decide between the 5. If anyone else is like that, then I'm glad I'm not the only one, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. So yes, I do love good Crafty Leeny fabrics. Okay, now the next one, I went to the city catch up, and Deb from Deb Art Designs had some fabric there, and of course I couldn't resist. So, oh dear. This one is called Marucci Waters. Now this was one that she had dyed specifically for our retreat. I think it was last year in 2025. And this is an 18 count plain Aida. So actually I might go that way because it might be easier. Yes. Look at that gorgeousness there. Like, it's a really beautiful teal, light blue. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. Yeah, I really, really love that fabric. Now, I'm pretty sure I've got some of that at home, but I was like, I need a second piece. Who doesn't need a second piece, right? Maybe that's just me. And then I got Enchanted Sea, and this is a 16 count plain Aida. So yeah, I do ones that don't have opalescent, but yeah, I thought that could even be really cool for like a Halloween one, you know, and have like a fancy lady on that, or something. I don't know, I'm fancy lady sort of on the brain at the moment, I think. All these fancy projects. Okay, the next one I got is called Eternal Ember, and it's a 28 count Lugana, and this is just beautiful. Look at that. It's a really nice soft orange, kind of like an apricot-y colour, apricot orangey colour. So it's, yeah, it's beautiful. So, and I've been organising my fabric stash at home, so I'm going to be putting these all straight in their correct places when I get home. So the next one I got was Periwinkle, and this is a 28 count Lugana as well. I do quite like Lugana. And it's really soft purple. Like, it may not be showing up properly. But yeah, it's a really, really beautiful, soft kind of periwinkle, obviously. It's got like a little hints of pink here and there as well. But yeah, more like a lilac-y, kind of really soft lilac. So that could be pretty for something. I don't know what yet. And then I got the same periwinkle one in 18 count Aida. So this one is a bit more purple, you can see. And then it's got hints of the pink as well, and a tiny hint of blue. So yeah, very, very happy with those ones. Then I got another periwinkle here. I got 3 periwinkles. This one's a 32 count linen. So obviously I got even weave, Aida, and linen. Go big or go home, right? So there you go. There's the linen. So you can see how they all look different on different fabrics. All right. And then the last but not least, I got Summer Sands. So this one is a 28 count Lugana as well. And this one is really beautifully soft, like a sandy kind of buttery colour. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Could be good for a beach pattern, actually. Could be very good for a beachy pattern, being the sandy colour. Okay, so that's all I got from Deb. Oh, I missed one from Crafty Threads. I actually got a Cone of Doom, or Cone of 310 black, affectionately known as the Cone of Doom, because my current Cone of Doom is getting very house, should we say, empty. I've been working through it for quite a while now because every time I use black, I just use it off the Cone of Doom. So I have quite a bit of black in different patterns, and yeah, I didn't want to be running out and then, you know, have to order it in or whatever. So I got that while I could. One other thing I got was I got some DMC from Sharon because I needed to kit up a upcoming sale, and this one is called Life at the Cottage, and it's by Needle-Lot Designs. So the pre-orders are open. It's 8 parts, and it's from the 1st of April to the 26th of August, and they suggested a lighter fabric, green, blue, all that sort of thing, not a dark or a drab fabric. So I got this one. I had this in my stash, and it's one of the DMC Charles Craft ones that Spotlight used to sell. I'm not sure if they still sell them, but yeah, it's a printed Ada, and it's green and blue on it. Now it's actually going to be a portrait design like this, and they're going to start in the top left hand corner. So I'll have to count my way in, and I did a floss toss, and I think all the colors look really beautiful on it. They're not going to sit on there properly, but I've done a floss toss, and I think that's going to be absolutely perfect for that one. So that will be one of the upcoming ones. Now I do have a map and release dates here for you as well. So I think it's roughly 2 to 3 weeks maybe, the releases as they come out. Yeah, so that is that upcoming sale. Right, now we'll move on to digital haul. Now the one that I was telling you about, that I may have time to dye and experiment with the dyeing of the opalescent fabric, is for this pattern called the Mermaid Marina, and she is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and she's one of a new one they've just released actually. So I got her as a PDF off their website, and another fancy lady obviously, and she's got beads and a metallic thread. Now with this one she's got Delica beads. Now I haven't heard of Delica beads before this particular pattern, and a friend of mine has given me some beads of one of the colors, which is the pink, and it's in the hair. So I'm going to try those ones, and then I found a store in Brisbane that sells the Delica beads, so I'm going down there for a trip, and I'm going to pick up the white beads, which is all the bubbles and things that are around her, and there's quite a number. I think there was like 400 and something white beads in her, so there's quite a number of white beads. So yeah, I'll pick her up. Now we all know they can't travel alone, right? Even though they're PDFs. So when I purchased her, I also purchased Welcome to Our Home by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I just thought I really like this one. It looks just my style. I love it. It would be awesome to stitch up and hang on the wall as you enter our house. So yeah, I got that one. And last but not least, I got Woodland Winter by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I found all 3 of these PDFs on their website, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen this one somewhere before. Or maybe it's something similar I've seen. But yeah, I was quite intrigued by the wintry scene, and it's not necessarily a Christmas one, even though there are like pine trees and the reindeers and that sort of stuff in there. I don't see it as a Christmassy kind of scene. So yeah, we'll hang that one up in winter. Now, I also purchased a baby sampler because my neighbour is having a baby and it's Winnie the Pooh themed, and I was given a Winnie the Pooh themed kit to stitch, and I showed my neighbour and she fell in love with it. And I said to her, would you like me to turn this into a baby sampler or something else? Because I have something else if you would like it. So she said she would like the other one, which is now this one. And this one is called Welcome Baby Unisex Cross Stitch Winnie the Pooh, and it's by Cross Stitch Heroes on Etsy. And so it is unisex, so you can do either male or female names down there, and obviously all the details below. So I like that one, and she loved that one too. So I'm going to be stitching that as the baby sampler, but the other one that I was given as the kit, that is going to also be stitched for her, so she can just hang it up in the room. So I've got some plans. This one is taking priority though over the other one, because this is obviously the baby sampler. Now, baby is not born yet, and we do not know if it's a male or a female. So I will be just concentrating on the Winnie the Pooh part of it up the top. And then once Bubs is born, I will fill in all the details below. So that one is going to be over the next few months, I guess. So we'll see how we go with that one. And then last but not least, for the patterns, I got this cutie, and it's called Fantasy Axolotls, and it's by Needlelot Designs on their Ko-fi page. Now, if you are a member of their Ko-fi channel, this one, like I am, this one is now free for me because they give you a free pattern every month. I guess it might depend on what level you're on as well. But this one was free for the month of March, and I just thought they're so cute. Yeah, it's free, and they were cute, so I grabbed that one. And I think that is all of my digital and physical haul. Yes, look at that. Look at me go. All right, I have a couple of racks. One of them I've forgotten to bring, which is the pink Delica beads that my friend gave me for Mermaid Marina. And she also gave me a little Winnie the Pooh bookmark kit. So I will stitch that up. That'll be a quick stitch. I'm guessing. So yeah, that might be one that I do when I'm like traveling on the train to a city catch up, or a travel stitch, I think. Because I don't think, and all the stuff is in the back, the bookmark, the threads, the needle, the pattern, everything's there. And there's also a little part there that this bookmark belongs to. So not sure who I'll give that to at this point in time, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Alrighty, now Flosstubes. Now, I haven't been watching a whole lot of Flosstubes lately. I've been extremely busy with the upcoming retreat at Toowoomba that I'm running with Kim, and making all the bits and pieces for the goodie bags, collecting the things from other people and collating it, putting it all together. So I've been busy with that, and I've also been busy with the Rose Crafty Corner Project Bag of the Month. So when I am sewing up a storm, I can't watch Flosstube because I can't hear it, first of all, over the top of my sewing machine. And also, second of all, my eyes need to be concentrating on what I'm actually stitching so I don't run over my fingers. So I haven't really been watching a lot of Flosstubes. I've seen some here and there. So yeah, to be continued with catching up on Flosstube, I guess. So I think that's it from me today. Oh, if you didn't see my shirt, it's easily distracted by cross stitch and dogs. So yes, I love that one. It's one of my favorites, and I like to wear it out, and people get comments all the time to me, and cross stitch and dogs, oh, and I kind of think, which one are they going to talk to me about? But anyway, that's for another day. So yeah, I'm not going to continue on any longer. I'll let you go, and you can watch somebody else's Flosstube. Thank you very much for watching ours. If you have liked what you've seen, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are still building the channel, so hopefully I've done okay by myself today. As I said, I was a little nervous, but hopefully I've done all the things and said all the things for you. Until next time, stay crafty.